Programme. We love sharing inspirational stories with you, and most of these stories start with you. This story is about a mum from Hitchin who went for a scan when she was pregnant. Sounds routine, but the outcome was anything but. Emma takes up the story.
I had some bleeding and I thought I was having a miscarriage. So I was booked in for a scan and was assured that the baby's heartbeat was fine and the baby was absolutely fine, but that I had a cyst about the size of an orange growing on my ovary. At that point, they'd booked me in for additional scans and referred me to a consultant who had carried out some blood tests during my pregnancy to say that they didn't think it was cancerous at that stage. So I was having scans for the tumour on top of my normal baby scans during my pregnancy and managed to deliver my daughter normally without incident. But a few weeks after she was born, when she was about 3 weeks old, the cyst twisted and I was rushed into hospital. I had surgery a couple of weeks later to remove it just before Christmas in 2013.
That's a lot to take in just a few short moments there. I mean, you really have been through it. I'm trying to, because you were very early into your pregnancy when you had this emergency ultrasound.
The worst option at the time, which I thought was miscarriage, and yeah, it was obviously relieved when I found out that wasn't the case. But then this new thing, so a whole other set of things to think about at the same time as being pregnant. So yeah, it was interesting times.
Well, that's one way of putting it, I bet. I think most of us listening are thinking, well, we can't imagine what it's like when you're in that situation. It must have been horrible.
It was really tricky because obviously I was excited about having a baby. A lot of my friends had children, but there wasn't anybody else sort of going through the same thing at the same time. People that I knew had cancer were older. It was something that happened to other people. I do wonder how different the experience of having a baby and being pregnant would be without that tumour.
Well, again, had you not had that emergency ultrasound,
absolutely,
and no one had picked that up, goodness me, what could have happened then?
Well, I never had any symptoms, any idea that I could possibly have cancer. Ovarian cancer is quite tricky to diagnose anyway, and there are, you often don't get symptoms, and I had absolutely no idea. So yeah, I'm very grateful to my daughter. She could have saved my life. People think it's never going to happen to them until it does. So yeah, absolutely, we should be trying to raise money and raise awareness where we can.
Well, let's talk about Cancer Research UK's Race for Life, because I think the three of you are involved in that.
Yes, so I'd done Race for Life before I had my children. Just to raise money for other people and for the exercise and everything else. And I'd always really enjoyed them. But I'd wanted to do one with the girls when they were old enough. And my oldest had actually asked if we could do one together. So we did. We went along to our Stevenage Race for Life and we ran the course together. And I think it was the first time that they'd really seen other people celebrating and going through that racing for a purpose. It was a big deal to them. They were really blown away by the amount of people there and, people dressed up in their pink and their wigs and the wings and all the other things that people were doing. So I think that was the first time that they'd really kind of understood what had happened. And yeah, they just had an absolute blast. It was brilliant.
Great pleasure speaking with you. I wish you and your family all the very best in the future. If people want to help you and follow your story as part of Cancer Research UK's Race for Life, what can they do?
They can get involved in Race for Life, have a look and see where your local race is. And, you don't have to be fast. You can walk, you can take a pushchair, it's for everybody, men, women, children. It's so much fun. It's a great way to get involved in supporting a great charity.
Emma from Hitchin. You can get more details about Cancer Research UK's Race for Life at raceforlife.cancerresearchuk.org.